guys? Welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over an email that was sent from a subscriber. This is from a guy, I'm guessing he's in his 40s, maybe his 50s or so. He is in the people helping business. He is a life coach. Not quite sure if he was a therapist before that. And he's writing in about one of the craziest gals he's ever known, a relative of his, who I believe is a cousin, who is the absolute poster child for the times, who is a perfect example of why I always tell you guys, you need to really do your homework about who you get involved with, and particularly seeing what her family's like. This cousin of his is absolute train wreck on all fronts, uses guys, drama, this. It's never ending. All the stuff you've heard me cover in other stories is right here in one story, one girl. And as a perfect example why so many of you guys are walking away, and how it's so important to understand this material and understand reality, because there's so many suckers out there, good men that just don't know any better, that fall for women like her. And he's going to go through this whole thing about her many marriages, lovers, the thing with the kids, all that type of stuff. It is a mess. And it only backs up what so many of you guys think as well as I do at the whole big picture here. So definitely an entertaining one. So it starts off, says here, Dear SSM, long-time listener here, thank you for your helping educate others. This family member of mine is one of my submissions for craziest woman I know. I've watched this absolute crap flower unfold and bloom over my entire life, and I thought I could provide some education for everyone. Well, brother, I appreciate you writing in, and everybody's going to learn something today. In fact, this story is going to scare the crap out of guys to never get in a relationship. Judy, not her real name of course, grew up in a rough family. Nothing really bad stuff, but mom was bipolar and schizophrenic, and dad was an alcoholic, and just like his family was. Judy grew up poor, naive, and Catholic. So again, I believe this is his cousin, not his immediate family. She learned how to have an ego so no one could tell her anything. She would lie through her teeth, especially to herself, and manipulate others. All compliments of her parents. What follows is a timeline of the events as she got older. Well, she meets and marries Bill at 19 years old. Has a child with him, and then divorces him by 20 years old. Then remarries Bill at 21 years old, has another child, and divorces him again at 22. She blames the guy for her wanting a divorce. He was supposedly did bad things to the kids, and that's what she cites, though there was nothing illegal. She was just using it as an excuse. So I think I can speak for the audience here when I say smack to Bill for marrying her again, and all that crap. Right here. Already an absolute train wreck, ruining lives at 19 years old. And this wacko, we're just getting started here, also is a mother. I feel bad for that kid. Well, over the next 3 years, she sleeps around while being evicted from every single place she lives in, despite her father trying to help her, including financially. One day she calls all her sister-in-laws to warn them about her father's S-word assault, and they should watch out for their own kids. She's saying that about her own dad, who's been helping her out financially and all that. Watch why she did it. She is purposely vague and refuses to give details. It sends a shockwave of mistrust throughout the family. Months later, I pressed further into what she did. She tried to be vague, but I wouldn't let it go. It turns out she mistook a joke when she was younger, and a few jokes that she felt were inappropriate. Keep in mind the dad does say a lot of jokes. Some are very dirty, but never aimed at her. Nothing physical ever, nothing even close to S-word assault. Well, there you go. But she's just conveniently using those accusations at a certain time to be vengeful. And wait till you see why. Anyway, take a look at the timeline. She gladly took his money and help, and the accusations didn't come until a few months after he cut her off financially. So yes, she literally falsely said things her father a few months after he stopped paying her rent. What a great girl. So, bro, I would hope like hell at this point that you would have nothing to do with this cousin of yours, because she's absolutely just a piece of garbage. Someone the world could definitely do without, who's going to ruin lives wherever she goes. You know, I have a couple of cousins I have nothing to do with, and I don't care what happens to them. They're not this bad, but still. Moving on, she meets Ed at 26 years old. Ed has 3 kids of his own. Within 6 weeks of dating, she moved in with him. He is paying for everything. Smack to Ed. Well, she is caught cheating on Ed with her ex-husband, Bill. She sees nothing wrong with it because they slept together in the past. Immediately she's kicked out. She blames Ed for not understanding her. You noticing a pattern here? It's always somebody else's fault but her own. It's also proves, what I always say about women and accountability. She didn't do anything wrong. It's everybody else's fault, especially men. Over the next few years, she continues sleeping around, even having a take care of few pregnancies. In other words, she multiple times had the procedure. Very Christian of her. She meets Mike around age 29. Mike is supposedly a godly man, and she falls in love. 4 weeks after meeting him, she's knocked up. 2 weeks later, they are engaged, married at 8 weeks from the day they say hello. Smack to Mike. Now, she deserves some smacks too, but still. You noticing a pattern, guys? Do you think any of these guys did their homework on her? Checked into her family, checked into her past, all that? Obviously not. She goes for guys that are obviously suckers. But you guys hear these stories, that won't be you. If you're starting to notice a pattern of not vetting men very well, you'd be right. How about they're not vetting her very well? She's the problem. I know you know this, but still. She invites the immediate family, including her father, to the wedding out of family duty. They had been still helping their kids while trying to desperately get her professional help. She's inviting the same dad who she accused of all those awful things just to get even with him for not paying her bills. At the wedding, everyone is shouting or shooting eye daggers at her father like he's the Antichrist. You could feel the hate and disgust in the room. It turns out that she secretly had told everyone on the husband's side of the family that he did awful things to her. She also implicates all these siblings for not supporting her, so they are also treated like monsters as well. She's immediately cut off from that family after that. Well, it's about freaking time. The problem is now she has at least one kid, if not more. You know? And that's an absolute shame. Those kids have that asshole as their mother. We're not done. So fast forward in time with Mike. She's taking her 2 children, 5 and 7 years old, that are with Mike to therapy. In therapy, one of the children confesses that, wait for it, Mike S-word assaulted her. Judy never saw anything happen, of course. She confirms there were no signs and no evidence. Still, it is reported to the authorities by the therapist. So what do you think? That it really happened? That Mike did that, their stepfather? Or maybe Mama coached them on some things to make divorce easy? Well, nothing comes of it, but that doesn't stop her from going on a campaign to smear Mike and use it as an excuse to divorce him. How many times has your cousin been divorced at this point? Like 4 or 5 times? And she's in her 30s? I pointed out the authorities are extremely protective of children where she lives. If there was any hint of S-word assault, that she'd get full custody and he would be in jail. So why isn't he getting primary custody? She said it was the system and he had a good lawyer. Like it has nothing to do with her. Or the kids lying and her coaching the kids. So now the kids are little assholes too. This is why you can't have someone like her raise children. Still, they're little kids. She was silent when I pointed out that she has a history of lashing out against men who didn't give her what she wants. What do you think are the chances those children were coached? I'm going to stop right there. Why are you having anything to do with her? I mean, I know you said you're a life coach, and I don't know if maybe you were a therapist before that, and maybe you're thinking you can help her so she can stop ruining lives and those kids, but other than that, I can't see why you have anything to do with her. It's not like you're going to fix her, bro. Well, fast forward 2 years ago, she's 44 years old at this point, and she meets Bob at church. Oh boy, now we're on to Bob, like the 7th fucking marriage. Finishing the Ho to Holy story with zero accountability along the way. Bob is nice, respectful, resourceful, and stable. He is even a musician and singer in the church, classic good guy with a good family. Well, this classic good guy is about to be crushed. Well, they get married, and Bob is taking her on trips. Oh, okay. For a second, I'm thinking Bob, Bill. Bill was the first husband who she married, divorced, married, divorced, married, divorced. Okay, Bob. Bob's taking her on trips, helping take care of her kids, even though not his own, and does everything right. Wait for it. She is now divorcing him because, and I quote, they see the world differently. Nothing wrong with him. He's a great provider and all that. I shit you not. After all the cheating and lying the SLUT has been through, she still ends up with a good man in her 40s, only to leave him too. She still thinks men are the problem. I forgot to mention at the beginning of the story, the obvious here, the crazy single MOM. Yeah, I'm a little tired today. Didn't sleep much last night, but you all caught on to that. In our most recent conversation, why are you still talking to her? I gave her recommendations on helping take accountability and how to improve herself and her life. Yeah, I wouldn't place much money on that happening. I recommended that she stop and think daily. Think about who she is, and why all this stuff seems to happen to her. The why behind what she does, that she needs to vet men better. No, men need to vet her better. Men need to watch my channel. Men need to talk to you who listens to these stories and all that to help them not get involved with women like her. I still think you're doing this to maybe somehow help a little bit so she doesn't ruin any more lives, but dude, she's 44 years old. She's not going to change. That she needs to better understand her emotions and feelings and to start thinking about her life. To ground herself in reality. That she doesn't comprehend that her lack of understanding and thoughts create the positive feedback loop that keep her stuck in this cycle of bad decisions. Bro, she's a fucking asshole and a piece of shit. And she probably smells like shit. She ain't going to change. And by the way, those little kids are probably young adults now. And I'm willing to bet you they're probably fucked up too. I cited many examples. I also included that her friends kept her single and kept giving her bad advice. Well, that's what they do. That she should listen to wiser, good people. Her response was, no, I'm better than I was, and I'm even helping other women find their way. She's helping women, really? That she will take my words under advisement, but she is growing. If that's not the blind leading the blind, I don't know what is. Well, again, back to women keeping other women single. Perfect example. There are other great points in her life, like the fact that she was raised Catholic. On the one hand, she can't use contraceptives, but on the other hand, she can sleep with a guy before marriage and take out children if they aren't convenient. She picks and chooses what rules to obey as it's convenient, or the fact that she got financial aid to get her degree over 10 years, only to stop 6 credits short of the degree because social work doesn't pay enough money. Social work, really? Her? Again, the blind leading the blind? I mean, the people that need social workers got problems enough. They don't need someone like her. And gee, you can Google average social worker salaries to find out they don't get paid very well. The fact that she stopped 6 credits from getting her degree tells me probably like a lot of women, a lot of people born in effed up families, they don't think they're worth anything. So they only get involved with people where they think it's just not going to work out. And they're a train wreck wherever they go because they think that's all they're worth. So I'm not surprised that she got that close to getting her degree. She certainly put enough time in there and financial aid to just drop out like that. Because in her mind, I need drama, I need turmoil, because that's all I know. That's what she grew up in her house. I'm not making excuses for her. I'm just saying why people are like that. She has an inferiority complex, even though she doesn't think she's inferior. She destroys everything because any sense of normalcy scares the shit out of her. So anyhow, it says here, meaning she was using financial aid to subsidize her poor life decisions, or how, because she was female, could find a new job every few months while other men were waiting in line and couldn't find work. But this is a long enough story already. So let's recap SSM, and I'll put some final points out there. This female couldn't keep her legs closed, couldn't use contraceptives, which was just an excuse to raw dog, made constant bad decisions in all areas of life, cherry-picked rules just to justify her sleeping around, repeatedly cheated, falsified SA allegations against her own father after not getting her way, coached her kids to also falsify SA to get what she wants, destroyed the reputation of anyone that tried to set her straight, and more, yet still managed to find a good man in her 40s, but is leaving him too. Well, obviously she's leaving him, probably going to try to take him to the cleaners. And yet, I'm kind of surprised, man, that I'd be careful if I were you, because if she gets a bug up her butt, or something up her butt, she's going to maybe come after you. Be careful. Oh, but not leaving right away. After her next 2 fully paid vacations later this year are over, then she will leave him. Oh, well, she's got to get her vacations in. For her, it's always the man's fault. She is the perpetual victim and will probably always be one. No man can ever tell her anything, because all her friends think men are trash, and why would you listen to trash? Reflection of the times. You guys out there still want to get married? Well, if you do, I highly recommend you do some serious vetting about her, her family, her friends, everyone. It's like a damn complete storybook of what you talk about. Number 1, you can take a hoe out of the streets, but you can't take the streets out of the hoe. 2, women accountability are like oil and water. 3, women keep each other single. 4, once a cheater, always a cheater. And here's some I'd like to add. Number 5, some women will use a man for his resources and discard it when done. Be careful with your resources. If she cares about your money, she doesn't care about you. Just leave. Well, I've been saying that shit since day one, but yes, we'll include that. Number 6, an easy way to tell if a woman is worth dating, ask her opinion of men. If they say they're trash or she can't name a bunch of good men in her life, run. You aren't a human in her eyes and will never dig yourself out of the devalued status. And finally, my brothers, and I use this often, number 7, never underestimate the power of stupid. Keep growing, men. Peace out. Well, bro, that's quite a story, but I'm not surprised. I've been covering train wrecks like this since the beginning. I've dealt with train wrecks like this in varying degrees throughout my life, learned the hard way, and many guys out there. But I will definitely say she's definitely one of the worst. And the fact that you're in the same family. Again, I don't know why you're listening to her crap, trying to offer her advice. You're wasting your breath. But I'm guessing probably because you do this professionally with others outside the family. You figure maybe somehow you can help her out. But I don't think it's going to happen. To be perfectly honest, the world would be a better place if she freaking one day just went outside and some piece of a satellite just fell down from the heavens and hit her in the head and she struck dead. Or caught an illness, a disease, and died. But the world would be better. The problem is that assholes like her, they live to a ripe old age, and they wreak havoc wherever they go. And I'm willing to bet you that probably her kids, I think you said she has a daughter, hopefully won't turn out like her, but the odds are it will be just like her, and the cycle will continue. But anyhow, guys, there you go. This is a 17-plus minute example of why, like I told you, why you vet them, why you may even hire a PI. You do your homework, pay attention to their family. If their family's effed up, the odds are they're going to be. Now, obviously, there are exceptions, but still, amongst many other things. And oh yes, of course, don't waste your time getting involved with single MOMs, because generally speaking, they are in varying degrees train wrecks, and you can't fix them. And of course, all the thing about women accountability and all that. So there you go, guys, a reflection of the times. Does this mean that every girl walking the earth is like her? Of course not. But a lot are in varying degrees. So, and by the way, guys, he mentioned that in a previous email to me, that he gave me a little brief summary of lots of crazies that he's dealt with before and has stories on all of them. So, and obviously he uses different names and different circumstances to keep confidentiality. But if you'd like to hear more stories about some of the wackos that he deals with, type away in the comments section. Let this guy know, and I guarantee you he will. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Let's hear your experiences dealing with some of these wackos. And be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.